Good morning, people. Coming at you from high atop the Two Dumb Yinzers Mountain, where Mike sleeps. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 649. Yes, Mike feeds off the land like a bear.
I do. I'm on the prowl. Rawr.
You know what I think? One thing I noticed the other day, guys, what the younger
Okay, why does everyone tell me
just
never
don't
to
do
roar
anymore?
every time I roar?
You know, one thing that I noticed the other day that younger people just don't do anymore, guys. And this used to be a real big thing. Think for a moment, what were the guys really into when we were younger, in the 90s, in the early 2000s, that just isn't there anymore?
Pogs.
The bumping of the bass. Bumping of the bass. You just don't hear that anywhere anymore.
Oh,
You used to be able to walk through your town and it sounded like a war zone going on. It sounded like there was bombs and boom, boom. I don't hear it at all anymore. At least not here in Western PA. I don't hear the bass anymore at all.
Go over to East Liverpool, Ohio, and just hang out in my house for 20 minutes, and then my windows will start shaking. It is insane. The couple cars that drive down.
That's insane.
The one he's cool because like he'll come down. Then as soon as he turns on our street, because he lives on our street, he turns the music down and then waves to everyone. And as soon as he's gone out of the neighborhood, he'll put it back up. But a lot of people drive down my street and my windows just shake.
I'd like to have more people, more young. I just don't hear it at all. At all.
Ugh, I can't do it, man.
You want to know a couple other things?
Yeah.
What's that? What can't you do? What
No,
can't you do?
Go ahead. No. And what can't I do? That was me actually turning on the stream, and then I had feedback going through like I was derpy.
Okay, you just sit back and relax for a couple of minutes.
I messed up. I'm wound up. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, so this is where you stop then. Okay, just relax, pull yourself together. Guys,
Okay.
The bass is one thing. You know what else I seen younger people that kind of disturb me? I saw these two girls on the internet playing an Atari, and you would have thought they were trying to split the atom. They had their arm. The girl was holding the you remember what the Atari joystick looked like? With her right hand, she was holding it. Her elbow was way up in the air, and her left finger was poking like this, like she was pecking at the button. I thought we can't be that far off from where we were, when we were like this. It's not. It's one button and one paddle. What's the deal, man?
Right. Dude, I was talking about Ataris at work the other day in the Commodore 64, and one of the dudes was like, "Dude, I have never seen an original Nintendo in my life. I've never physically touched one."
Oh my goodness.
I about mid-20s. A dude who's a gamer though himself, plays games, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, but has never saw in his life one. They're like, "Oh, well, we saw one in a museum." I'm like, "Get out of here with this museum nonsense."
I don't think that's weird. I mean, is that weird? I mean, I don't think my son ever touched a Nintendo. He's almost 30 years old.
No, I think it's, I don't know. It could be like that boomer take where, oh, you guys don't use the rotary. You don't know what a rotary phone is. That's probably what me telling them you don't know what an original Nintendo looks like. Yeah, so it's the same difference.
Good morning, Derpy, my man.
Derpy in the house.
Derpy, just let me stare at you for a minute. Are you there? Can you hear me? Got to remember, guys, Derpy was coming with new audio today, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have.
Yeah, you might have some technical issues.
I just want to stare at Derpy, see how much he's grown.
I do like the new keyhole pick. We're gonna call it, I guess, the spyglass pick of the 6 Super Bowl championships. I like it.
Yeah, all right.
I'm hearing static from Derpy. That's about it.
That's all right. Leave him alone. Derpy's timid like a mouse.
There's Derpy.
Say hello. Derpy, can you hear
Derpy. Us? Yes,
Look
I
at
can.
you, Derpy, huh?
Look at you. Move it up in the world, brother.
Yes, sir.
One other thing, guys. The bass we don't see anymore. The girls playing the Atari that really blew my mind. And this is another one that I always hear. when they're watching something and like you watch a reaction video or just in general when a younger person sees something that we used to watch, oh my God, you would never be able to do this nowadays. It's like it's the Bundys. You know what I mean? Come on.
Mhm.
Are we that far gone that you can't enjoy something like Married with Children anymore, Mike?
No, you can enjoy it. But Married with Children did the humor right.
Yes.
There was not a lot of punching down humor. Not like you go back and listen to like old stand up from Richard Pryor, George Carlin. It still stands the test of time because they weren't attacking people. They're making if they were, it was attacking the group in power, like the government and stuff like that.
Right,
So
they were punching up.
punching up. When you punch down, that humor doesn't stand. Even like Archie Bunker, that humor still stands.
Wait, who punched down? You
think
saying Married with Children punched down?
No, they punched
No,
down.
no. He said they didn't
Oh,
punch
okay.
down.
They didn't punch down. They didn't punch down. And if they did, it was in a good, fun, joking way where everyone was equally treated. Like, like Al Bundy
fair,
was not the
how
hero.
How could the Bundys punch down? Like they were at the very bottom. You know what I mean? That was the whole point.
I'm thinking
and
people,
like Archie Bunker's
people nowadays are
stands
saying words like skibbity toilet and shows like this. They're going to tell me that the Bundys, you can't.
Skibbity Riz.
That's a Skibbity Riz, Derpy.
I got that
Skibbity Ohio.
Oh, that's bad. Skibbity Ohio is bad.
You got that.
Skibbity Skibbity Ohio. There we go. That's what Derpy has. I got the Skibbity Riz.
They think this is what they're into now. So I don't think you're wrong when you're talking about the boomers talking about the rotary phone. No, these things were cool. Married with Children. Listen, it's not a rotary phone. The rotary phone was stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have probably skipped that whole era of
rotary
phones,
phone was awesome.
But Married with Children, Atari, bass in the car. Come on, these kids are weird. They're weirdos. I don't trust them.
I hate the bass in the car.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is
Depends
episode 649 of the Two Dumb Yinzers.
Yeah.
I love bass in cars. I don't hear it anywhere.
I hate it.
I used to hate it, but now I love it. I want it back.
That explains a lot about you.
Ravens, they played the Chargers last night on Monday Night Football. Ravens win this game 30-23. Was hoping to get a little bit of help with the Baltimore loss. I guess they could have really went both ways. My favorite part of the whole game was Deontay Johnson with 0 straight across the board again, tripping over his own feet and falling while passes were thrown to him. It was a sight to see. I got to tell you, Baltimore's got to be kicking themselves right now, saying, you know what, maybe Pittsburgh wasn't that stupid. It's Deontay Johnson. He has what, 1 catch in 4 games? 3 games? 4 games?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then like the other Johnson for San Diego, he had all the drops as well. So apparently, if your last name's Johnson anymore as a wide receiver in the NFL, you cannot catch.
Yeah. So there you go. We get no help. The division looks like this. We're at the top 8-3. The Baltimore Ravens are 8-4. Cincinnati's 4-7. And Cleveland is 3-8 in the bottom of the division. Coming up next week, we go to Cincinnati. The Baltimore Ravens take on Philadelphia, and Cleveland plays Denver on Monday night. Last night was the Harbaugh Bowl. John Harbaugh has never lost to Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is 0-3 against his brother John. I thought that might change last night. Maybe just change the tides, get that win, help us out. But that didn't happen, guys. Things remain the same. Not much changed in the playoffs. Not much changed in a whole lot going around the league. It looks like this as far as the playoffs at the moment, guys. Kansas City's the 1 seed with a 10-1 record. Buffalo's a 2 seed with a 9-2. Pittsburgh is a 3 seed with an 8-3. Houston is a 4 seed with a 7-5. Baltimore with an 8-4. Chargers 7-4, and Denver 7-5. Again, we beat 5 of these teams. That is in the playoffs at the time. Woo! Good morning, Yinzer Joe. How you doing, my man? Welcome back. A lot of stuff to talk about today, guys. We're going to dig into some Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to look at what they've done so far this season. Talk about the Steelers, maybe a couple injuries. I'm a little not concerned about Mike, but I do know that Van Jefferson did get hurt in last week's game. Is that going to affect him? Is he on the list? If he is on the list, does this mean Mike Williams plays more? If Mike Williams doesn't play more, are we just going to do what we've been doing with bare minimum wide receivers all season? Mike, we have to figure out ways to score points because this Cincinnati Bengals team scores a lot of points. They score a lot of points at will. I guess you could say, unless you could go in and figure out a way to shut Jamar Chase down, that is going to be what it's going to be. So, guys, Cincinnati Bengals, I wasn't scared over the weekend, but now we're getting a little bit closer, and I'm thinking a little bit more and looking more into this Bengals team. Guys, they almost beat the Ravens 2 times. You know how that goes. You know, teams that we play well against, the Ravens generally play the same kind of game. We're built very, very similar. They beat the Chargers by 7 points. We beat the Chargers by 6 or 7 points. It tends to usually work its way out, guys. So, again, a lot of points scored, a lot of yards thrown, a lot of passes caught by the Cincinnati Bengals team in those 2 Raven games, guys. We'll talk about that because we're going to have to figure something out because we have to figure out a way to score more or stop what they're doing. Finch, what do you think about this game, man? Are you feeling optimistic? Are you because like I said, at first I felt good. I felt good about it, but the more I'm reading into it, the more information I'm starting to get a little sketchy. And that's crazy because this is a 4-7 team sitting in 3rd place with only 6 weeks left in the season. Finch, do we win this game? Do we lose this game? How you feel about this game against the Bengals coming up?
It comes down to our offense and whether or not we're scoring touchdowns. We had a lot of trouble scoring touchdowns the last 2 weeks. We won 1 game barely, and we managed to put a couple together in the snow at the end of the Cleveland game, and it wasn't enough. I think our defense is going to be okay, to be honest with you. Jamar Chase obviously is amazing, and but this, our defense is a lot better than the Ravens. He's not going to put up 400 yards on us. We did a good job of stopping the flaunted Baltimore offense. There's no reason to believe we can't stop Joe Burrow as well.
And I agree. Ginzer Joe says, well, apparently the Ravens score a lot of points too, and the Steelers own them. I feel good about beating the Bengals. Right. It's a little bit different though, because a lot of their offense is through the air, and a lot of the Baltimore Ravens offense is not. Yes, they do have weapons. Yes, they do have their Zay Flowers. They got a couple guys that they can make plays, but it's based around their running game, and it's based around their quarterback being able to move, and it's based around Derrick Henry, and that's what scares me. We haven't really faced a quarterback like Joe Burrow yet this season. We've seen the way that this team responded. We've seen the way that this team was able to play different types of teams. But this kind of quarterback and this kind of thing that these guys have going on with their passing game, that's what scares me. If we can step up and find a way to shut down their passing game and feel confident, I'll feel good moving forward because, again, you're not going to face anything less than what we're going to face this weekend in January. You get to January, you're going to be facing Allen. You're going to be facing Mahomes. You're going to be facing, a lot of good quarterbacks. So this game, I think, is going to tell a lot about this team moving forward with only 6 weeks left after the season after this game to go in the season. So, and one other thing to go off of what Jeff said, or maybe it was on the board, whoever said about the defense, we tend to play better defense than the Ravens do. You're right. We won a game 13-6 or something like this, or 18-12 against the Chargers, where, again, the Ravens, they win 30-23. They're able to score more points, and we're able to keep more points off the board. So, how does that play into this particular kind of team that we're facing off against that could really, really throw the ball around the field, Mike?
Yeah, and what I'm just going through advanced analytics here, and quick passing. The Bengals ranked number 14 on offense in quick passing. The Steelers 29th against the quick pass. So we're one of the worst against the quick pass. Yeah, and that's where I think that's going to be an issue for us is their quick passing game. Now, in years past, everyone wants to talk about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins we have to worry about. For me, it always felt like Tyler Boyd was the one that would have our number. Now, he's no longer there. And Jamar Chase, yeah, he is tearing up the league. Him and Jetta are the 2 best receivers in the league. And behind them, man, T. Higgins only has 400 yards offense, I think. Yeah, 489 yards catching. So he's been a non-threat this year. So my thing is, if we can just shut down Jamar Chase, this game should be a gimme, should be a win because they can't.
Is that easier said than done, Mike?
We can barely. Oh, that's a whole hell of a lot easier said than done. There's a reason why Jamar Chase is one of the best receivers in the league, if not the best. He can beat the double team. He can potentially find ways to beat you if you try to triple team him. So. And, Joe Burrow is just so goddamn accurate. It's going to be easier said than done. But if they can do that, I think they can win this game. What's their Achilles heel is their defense. Their defense is giving up 26.9 points a game, and the Bengals score on average 27. So their defense is Achilles heel, and if we can take
To be
advantage of
scoring more than your opponent to be sitting at 4-7 is a kind of a crazy number,
Yeah.
though, right?
Yeah. And what I think what we can do, I went back and I watched that second half, especially that fourth quarter against Cleveland. The way Russell Wilson was playing, the way he was hanging in there in the pocket, taking shots across the middle of the field, they can beat this team. They can feast on this secondary in that defense of the Bengals.
I agree with you, but it's about 38% of what you said, Mike. I think that it was that combination. It was a deadly combination because you could open up the other receivers by having the receivers that you have. In other words, Chase is going to do what Chase does. So, if we game plan around him, and then you have T. Higgins, who's a big playmaker, and if you make your adjustments to T. Higgins, then it was always that third guy, the number 3 in the rotation, Tyler Boyd, who was able to make big plays. So, I think that we have that going for us. I just wonder what it is when the guys are sitting down studying film this week, what it is they're going to see against the teams that they did beat. Again, the Bengals guys are 4-7. They won 4 games. Going back and seeing what this team was able to do effectively, I think that we could figure that out. They lost Joe Mixon. Their running game isn't the same. They lost Tyler Boyd. Their passing game, the depth isn't there, but you know what they're doing. They're going to Chase. They're going to Chase often. And Mike said T. Higgins, his numbers just aren't the same this year. I seen him playing the other week. He didn't look fantastic. I got to be honest with you. And as you said, what you got to do to score more points than they do. I think that's where the challenge is in this game, guys. Their defense isn't that great, Mike pointed out. So we're going to have to score more. That's obvious. But I think the key matchup here is what is our defense going to be able to do against that offense? Are you going to keep these guys under 24 points? And is this offense for the Steelers going to be able to bring it together, guys, and put more than 24 points up? This is, like I said, it's becoming a little bit more than I thought it was going to be. I was hoping, I knew it wasn't going to be easy. It's a division game. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. But at the end of the day, as you're thinking this through, you're thinking it over, and you're like, man, I wish this was a little bit easier of a game. It's not. Jeff, what's going to be key? I mean, there's like I said, there's got to be some common denominator here when you go to all the film and look what it was to when Cincinnati won these 4 different football games. And again, they were very close to winning 2 more. They could be sitting at 6-5 at the moment.
Right.
But Baltimore pulled it off in both of those games. What does a Steeler team got to do to make sure they walk out of Cincinnati with a win on Sunday? Finch.
We have to get the offense rolling, man. And we just have to outscore them. I mean, it's simple. It's simple as that. The offense, like I said, we had a couple of great weeks with Russell Wilson, and then we didn't. And we need to figure it out. And a team like Cincinnati, the way that their defense has given up quite a bit, that's the key right there. I don't think there's anything on tape that's going to make a big difference for the Steelers on this game. On how, considering how the Bengals had won their previous games, we're not going to see anything. What we're going to see is cracks in the defense, and that's what we need to exploit.
Roger just put on the board, our D-line has to dominate. We got to make Burrow uncomfortable. I think, Finch, you had said something like these guys, they throw fast. They get the ball out fast. I think that's going to be a problem for the Steelers because it tends to work to our advantage when we can start getting pressure on the quarterback. Think back, guys. What happens every weekend when we just don't get to the quarterback? They tend to pick us apart. Mike, is that a potential issue this weekend?
Oh, that's a big time issue. Like, I say it week in, week out, like that middle of the field. Like, when was the last time we, like, us watching football, like a tight end or receiver across the middle wouldn't feast against us? I can't remember when we consistently controlled that. And that's been a problem, an organizational problem for a long time. And once again, Cincinnati, those quick, short passes, they are one of the best offenses, and we're one of the worst defenses. Now, where it gets interesting is if they try to go to the intermediate passing, that's where they feast, and that's where the Steelers feast. So I'm looking for Joe Burrow, quick passes, negate that pass rush. Because you see what happens against us when you negate the pass rush, you can dictate the game. I think we have to start sending more people for or not getting there fast enough. You have to send 5, sometimes send 6, confuse the other teams, and get there quick. If you're not generating pressure from that front 4 that has a lot of money tied up into it, You better start bringing some middle backers. Better start bringing Deshaun Elliott on a blitz to negate that quick passing. Get to him. Get him off rhythm.
Mike, would you agree that we're going to have to kind of go along the same lines as Finch talked about a couple weeks ago when we were talking about what it is about the Ravens? Is it just going to be keeping the Bengals offense off the field, running the ball well, controlling the clock, field position, and just not giving them the opportunity, guys, to go out there and do what it is they does? I think that was very effective against Baltimore. If you could pull that off and play your game, and it work out for you, that I think would be the best case scenario.
Yeah.
If we're not winning the time of possession, do we have a chance to win this game?
No. I think if they end up getting time of possession, they're going to win. Because our offense, man, we're not a quick strike offense like these guys are. And the last two games, man, we won the ball control against Baltimore, against Cleveland, and it should have worked for us. That offense should have been able to grind out one more first down drive, and they didn't. And that was the backbreaker, and the defense not holding off at the end there too. So if they can just control that clock, they can win this game. Because I don't want Joe Burrow to sit out there all day long and pick us apart. Because once they get their passing game going, we're going to have to adjust for that. And the next thing you know, their run game is going to take over. They don't have a great running attack, but my God, it can be effective against us because we see what happens when we start pinning our ears back, just rushing to the quarterback, leaving rush lanes open, linebackers having to drop in coverage. It can be a long day if you let Joe Burrow get into a rhythm and let that offense out there.
This is what the Bengals season looks like as of right now. In the very first game of the year, they lost to the Patriots 16-10. I'm going to throw that one out the window, and you're going to see why here in a second. The second game of the year, the Bengals lose to the Chiefs 26-25. The Chiefs beat the Bengals 26-25, second game of the year. Third game of the year, the Bengals lose by 5 to the Commanders, guys. Commanders who started out really strong this season. The Bengals lose 38-33 in the third game of the season. The Bengals beat the Panthers by 10. They did what they were supposed to do against a bad team. The Bengals lose to the Ravens by 3 in overtime. The Bengals beat the Giants 17-7 like they're supposed to do. The Bengals beat the Browns, interstate rival, by 7. They took an ass beaten by the Eagles, lost by 20. But besides for that game, they beat the Raiders. Supposed to do it. They did it. They went out and they lost to the Ravens again by 1 point, 35-34. And they lost to the Chargers, the same team that just lost to Baltimore by 7 points. They beat the Bengals by 7 points. So this Bengals team isn't necessarily a bad team. You look at a team, it's a bad team, and you look down their record and their scores, and their scores are lopsided. I'm not seeing this looking down what these guys did. These guys played a pretty good season. Again, they could certainly be sitting here with 2 to 3 more wins.
Oh, easily. They could be one of the better teams in the NFL. It's just
they're just missing a few pieces. It's not a bad team. They're just missing a few pieces.
And what's also hurting them too is it started in the offseason, man. All the contract drama with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and it's bled over into the season. T. Higgins has the boo-boo face all season long. You don't know what game he's going to play in due to, if he's going to be dinged up and injured or not. So he's only played in 6 out of the 11 games so far for them. He's been inconsistent. That's bled over into the locker room. And then you compound that the fact that the defense can't stop anyone. Jamar Chase being asked questions. He's like, I don't know. I don't play defense. So there's a lot of discomfort in that locker room. And that I think that's how, showing up on the field too, the way they play. It's not a unified team.
Yeah, guys, the Cincinnati Bungles this weekend. We play at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Finch, first I do want to say good morning to 007. I do want to say good morning to John. Always awesome seeing you guys. Before I do, we're going to get to all these messages. Finch, I want to direct this one to you real quick. 007 says, Finch, he says, what do you think about Minkah Fitzpatrick not having an interception in 2 years?
It'd be nice if he could get on the board this week, huh? That's all I really got to say. I mean, what has he been contributing to the team? And I was getting on Minkah a little bit a few weeks ago. We were talking about the defense. And back when Beanie Bishop and Joey Porter had a couple of good games in a row, it was like, where the heck is Minkah Fitzpatrick? I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen him You never hear his name mentioned. He's
Mm-mm.
only got a few tackles all season. He doesn't have a lot, right? So it would be nice. It's a mystery to me. I mean, he's not hurt as far as I know. So
No.
you really hope that he can step up and hopefully do it sooner than later.
Yeah, and for me, he's been one of the biggest disappointments on the team. And yeah, you're playing center field, blah blah blah. You don't want anything to go over the top, but when there's been key breakdowns in the defense, who's sitting there pointing fingers? It's the corner and Minka Fitzpatrick, all staring at each other, and he's been out of position. Quarterbacks are baiting him with their eyes anymore. He's not staying disciplined, and playing center field, you should be having some more interceptions. You should be around the ball a whole hell of a lot more. You can see the whole field. He's just been making wrong reads. But hopefully this Bengals game, he can, do something, because this is a team he tends to play well against. He gets up for the Bengals. For some odd reason, that's the team he loves to torment. There's that picture of Jamar Chase walking off the field, giving Minka the double bird and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm looking for Minka to have a good game. If he doesn't have one here, he needs to be talked about more and more and more for how he hasn't done anything.
Do you think maybe he overperformed in his first season and a half with us, and now we're getting the actual player that he is?
Yeah. Yeah, like he played really well, his rookie year down in Miami. Then they started moving him all around, messed his game up. He came here, balls to the wall that first half season. Then that next season, he was great. And then, boom, production went. I was like, oh, well, he's covering for
you're not asking
these
him to
bad
be
corners.
The best safety in the league. You're just asking for him to make a game-changing play every once in a while. He hasn't done that in 2 seasons. I mean,
be consistent. Just be consistent.
Where's the happy medium?
Decent.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, where you were saying he might have performed, and now you're not seeing his name pop up. There has to be a gray area, right? There's got to be a happy medium with this guy. There has to be.
There has to be. And on the board, he's making $21 million a year. He's the second highest paid player on the team. He better be making great plays.
That's what, yeah. One thing that we do have going on our favorite guys, this is the teams with the fewest missed tackles on the season. The Steelers lead the way. They have the fewest missed tackles on the season with 61. The Eagles have 64, and the Chiefs have 65, guys. 3 teams with pretty good records and good things going for them. So, again, the defense is going to have to step up. No two ways about it. This offense, it's so weird because we are going to be able to score more points than we have been able to score over the past couple seasons. No two ways about it. This team is better than Kenny Pickett's team. This team was better than all them other quarterbacks that we had. But on the other hand, you think to yourself, what is our limit, though? What's our, we could get to 24 points. We could get to 30 points. We've showed that at certain points. But, what is the potential of this offense really, I think, is going to be the question down the stretch here, guys, and especially heading into the playoffs. Guys, let's catch up on some of the board. I know that we've been missing quite a few here. Guys, I'm going to go way back here. Let's see.
Way back.
Go way back in the day. Burrow was sacked 23 times this season, as Joe said. And then I do think John said that Wilson has been sacked 8 times in the last 2 games. Seeing some Tomlin talking here. Can I just make one more point about Tomlin? If he wasn't our coach, just hear me out, guys, okay? I believe me, I'm not real far off from you on this opinion, but listen. If we had another coach, we can't guarantee that he would be any good. We could be upset with what Mike Tomlin's doing, and we could fire him. But what if you bring somebody in who's not as good or not any better, and then you go through 2 or 3 losing seasons? And then you get rid of him, and then you bring somebody else in. Maybe he's not going to be as good. The thing is, guys, you got to remember, there's only a couple really successful coaches in the league. And the fact of the matter is, people laugh at us and say, well, you know what? You were the king of the regular season because you haven't won under 500 in 18 years. That's a good thing. People that are giving you shit aren't Steeler fans. And the thing is, there's a couple of successful coaches in this league that's been more successful than Tomlin. One of them has been the guy in Kansas City. We know that. But besides for that, you're going to talk about, the Buffalo Bills. They still haven't won anything. And then a lot of other teams around the league that are successful still haven't won anything. So the fact of the matter is, I'll take the wins all the time, but it's hard. It's hard to win a Super Bowl. We won 6 of them. We've been to 8.
Andy Reid did it. Andy Reid didn't win until he got one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Exactly.
Bill Belichick was
And
considered a failure until he fell into the lap of the greatest quarterback of all time.
so
It's
technically, we're still one of the
circumstances.
most successful teams. And now you're going to say, well, we don't go to the Super Bowl. It's very, very difficult. Again, the Kansas City Chiefs is basically the only team that's winning Super Bowls. And before that, Tom Brady's team in the first part of Tomlin's year was the only team who was winning all these Super Bowls. So Bill Belichick, Andy Reid. Do you really want to get into that rabbit hole, guys, of going through 3, 4, 5 coaches before finding, again, because it's hard to win. This guy has
Works well for
experience
the
in the league,
Bears, right? Worked well for the Browns.
right? And
Worked
you're
well
not
for the
going to go to the
Giants.
Super Bowl every year. You're just not. It's impossible. But every once in a while, these teams have these runs, and I think we could relate to the '70s with this. But again,
There's a reason there's
really-
only one dynastic team every decade, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it works out one to two dynastic teams every decade.
Who are you
There's a
going to bring
reason
in, Finch?
because
You're going to bring in
it's a
Kevin
rare-
Stefanski from Cleveland, maybe? I mean, these coaches out there, there's not anything out there that's amazing. And for people to keep saying on and on, let's get rid of Tomlin, he's still actually one of the best coaches out there. I mean, record-wise, we win a lot of football games. And in the history of the league, we've won more championships than everybody else. So what I'm
Remember in
saying
the early
is,
2000s, everybody said this about Cowher too. Remember we had like 3 seasons in a row where we were winning like 7 games, 9 games, whatever, not making.
I'm not trying to shoot anybody's opinion down. I just be careful what you ask for.
And people want to talk about like Tomlin. He's lost a lot in the playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger, remember, is 13-10 in the playoffs. He fell off the end of his career too. Now, is that because of Tomlin coaching, or is it because of the way the quarterback played? You know, he did not perform well in a lot of these playoff games. So it's yin and yang, man. It takes the whole team and everything like that. You know, is Tomlin out there letting the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line push around the defense? Is Tomlin out there telling Big Ben to keep throwing it to the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive backs, telling Marquise Pouncey, hey, snap the ball over the head against the Browns? No, the guys are going out there and they don't play well. Tomlin has made boneheaded decisions, yes, but the players play, the coaches coach, and if you coaches put you in a good position and you don't execute, that's on you. If you're not up for a playoff game yourself, like to quote Chuck Noll, I don't have to motivate you. You should be motivated yourself to play. Now, there's a lot of things here, and if we want to judge success by an organization about Super Bowls, we've only had, in fans' eyes, 6 good seasons since we've been founded in 1935. We've won 6 Super Bowls. If that's how we measure ourselves, we've only had 6 good years and closing in on 100 years.
Let me add to your point, Mike. I think that also, I see the comment. Okay, so Cowher had these good players, whatever. I understand. Again, this was my argument in the beginning. My argument with that, guys, is what did Cowher do before they got their lightning in the bottle quarterback? He was coaching from 92 to 2004 before he gets his top tier quarterback. You know how many Super Bowls we won in that period of time? None.
0.
12 seasons. Yeah. We lost a Super Bowl, which equals what Mike Tomlin did. So again, guys, we really have to ask. We really have to think about what we're asking for. Would it really be better? Yes, we're so frustrated. I understand that. I'm as frustrated as you guys are. I'm putting Maalox in my bong water just like John is. But at the end of the day, you change it out. It might not be better, guys. We have kind of a good thing going here. Again, we haven't finished under 500 almost 20 years. That's kind of a good thing. Yeah, and guess what? There's a lot of other teams that also haven't been to the Super Bowl or won the Super Bowl in that period of time. Matter of fact, there's only been about 5 teams that have. So are we really in that bad a shape? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, when you have one meaningless game in 17 years, you're doing something okay.
I'm just trying to weather the storm. The thing is, I know, you want to go all the way. Everybody does.
Yeah.
If you knew the trick, we would certainly do it.
Yeah. And I don't know. Maybe.
Mike, what did we again? Super Bowl wins with Cordell Stewart? None. Super Bowl wins with Neil O'Donnell, Tommy Maddox, Kent Graham, Mike Tomczak, Jim Miller.
And
so I mean, there's a play here. You have to get your guy.
Yeah. And
who has their guy, Mike? Kansas City has their guy.
Yeah.
Kansas City certainly has their guy.
And Bill Cowher did not want to draft Ben Roethlisberger. He wanted to get an offensive lineman. So, to say that, Tomlin won with Cowher guys, it seems like he won with Dan Rooney and Kevin Colbert guys. Because I was going back, look through those draft classes. Kevin Colbert and Dan Rooney were on something special building those teams.
And I just want to know, let us know if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to make sense of it all, just like everybody else is. I'm no different than anybody else, anybody on this board.
Hey, I do have a question.
Western Pennsylvania.
I have a question.
I want to know. I want to know where or does it make sense? That's all I want to know, because again, I try to figure this stuff out just like everybody else does. Let me know if it makes sense. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
I do have a question. I always hear people say Tomlin won with coward players. Do you use that same logic when you are talking about John Gruden? He won with Tony Dungy's players. Do you say the same about him?
A lot of people have said that.
I don't know what they say.
I just want to know. I just want to make sure the argument is consistent.
Well, I mean, I don't care what they do in Tampa Bay.
Or Bruce Arians. He won with Tom Brady. He won with someone else's players down in Tampa Bay. He inherited a good team. So those are just the arguments I always see on the board. Just trying to see where everyone's coming from.
Can we just give Derpy our attention for a minute?
Do we have to?
Yes.
Derpy, my man, we got to go over some things today with you. But guys, let me knock out a couple points real quick here. Miles Killebrew is one of the 32 nominees for the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award. Guys, 32 players from each team. You know the deal. Boy, is he bitch a under the radar special player for the Steelers. Mm-hmm. You talk to fans all across the country. Not a lot of people are going to talk about Miles Killebrew, but when it comes down to special teams play, not many people show up like this guy, Finch.
No, man, he's awesome. Congratulations to him. I hope he win the award. Yeah, he deserves it. He deserves everything he gets, and the sky is the limit. You know what I mean? He has a high ceiling. He's doing well, and as long as he works hard, he's going to be our guy for a long time.
Speaking of guys that are successful, also you can now vote. Get on the line and vote for your Pro Bowl players for the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. I think voting opened up yesterday. Get on, vote for your favorite Steelers. Get these guys. Again, the Pro Bowl isn't what it used to be, but it's always a nice achievement to have for the guys. So if you do support your Steelers or have a favorite player, be sure to get on and vote. That is now open. Mike, Derpy, Finch, who on this team right now deserves to be an All-Pro?
George Pickens.
Yeah, he'll probably be
Finch?
on there.
That's it.
Deserves?
Nobody else?
Yeah, he's probably the only one. T.J. Watt will probably get voted in because a lot of the times with the All-Pro picks, it always seems to be what you did the previous year that gets you in this year, unless you get hurt or you really stink it up. So it wouldn't shock me to see T.J. Watt get in there.
Cam Hayward.
Najee.
Yeah,
Cam Hayward's the greatest player of all time.
You know what? I don't think Najee's a stretch. I just don't know what the thing about the running game right now in the NFL between Barkley and Derrick Henry. It's really hard to even stay in that conversation because these guys are having amazing seasons. I mean, for what it is, Najee is having a very good year. But guys, does anybody else pop up in your mind when you think of a Pro Bowl player for the Steelers?
Deshaun Elliott. Boswell, Deshaun Elliott.
Yeah, Deshaun Elliott's having a strong season. I thought Dante Jackson was having a good year. The thing is, they just don't have these amazing numbers. They don't have 8 interceptions and things like that. That's going to hurt them.
He has 4 picks this year. He's playing well. But yeah, for me, like the only one out of the secondary that I would really take would be Deshaun Elliott. He's Mr. Dependable. He's Johnny on the spot. He's that key cog in the run game, man. He's been a breath of fresh air. Like he should get not just Pro Bowl consideration, but All Pro consideration. He's forced 3 fumbles, 1 interception, just 72 tackles, cleaning up the run game. The guy's a beast. Like Finch said, it won't be until next year until he gets that credit.
Right.
The one more thing, guys, about former Pittsburgh getting an accomplishment here. Ryan Switzer is going to be the head coach of Tulsa, the college football team. You don't have to worry about Ryan Switzer popping back up in our lineup anytime in the near future, guys. He's done in the NFL, and he is the new head coach of Tulsa. What's going on, Mike?
Who was that? Oh, no, I was laughing at Steeler Freak. He says George Pickens, an all-pro cage fighter, too. Yeah, so George Pickens was robbed on that sportsmanship award too. I think he should have been our nominee.
And they got pushed out of the back of the end zone on that Hail Mary.
Yeah, yeah. The guys, the corners, like the corner pushed him out on that play. The deep shot that Fields had him. If he was not tripped, that's a walk-in touchdown.
And then also the lack of the no call on the intentional grounding that Cleveland had late in the game. So there were some things, guys, but I'm not going to make excuses. We got the Bengals coming up. Coming up Sunday, 1:00. Mike, go ahead, look through some messages.
Wow, Mark Malone refuses to give Cowher any credit. My God, this guy can.
Wait, where's he at? What do you say?
Like I put up all these stats from Deshaun Elliott, and then we were talking about Deshaun Elliott, Dante Jackson. He's not Cowher, not Mike Tomlin's coaching staff. It's because they came from elsewhere. They're having good seasons. Beanie Bishop with 3 picks. Must be from his college coach.
So go ahead and look through some messages, Mike. We definitely got to catch up on some. Also, we have to go over. We got to make sure we cover the winners of this week's picks. I have a few more things here, Mike. It is going a lot faster. It just this hour always flies. So here we go, guys. Don't forget, we will be back tomorrow, and we'll be in Friday. Now the games are kind of weird this weekend. You're gonna have your 3 on Thanksgiving, but also there's a game on Friday afternoon between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs, which I think is definitely a game that could possibly trip up Kansas City. The Raiders, they do that from time to time. They lose all the other time. But so Thursday, guys, the 12:30 game is the Bears versus Detroit. The 4:30 game is the Giants versus the Cowboys. The 8:20 game is Miami versus Green Bay. And then again, Friday afternoon, guys, do not forget 3:00 p.m. the Las Vegas Raiders travel to Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs. So there's a lot of football starting on Thanksgiving and going through the weekend. Always love this. A couple more things before we do move forward, Mike. Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, the 2 running backs for the Lions. They are the first running back duo with 10-plus touchdowns each in consecutive seasons on the same squad. That's them guys. You know what? Again, I was on the Detroit bandwagon, Mike, but I don't know. You're kind of talking me out of it, and I hate to do that, but I like to see Detroit win it all. Yeah. Also, the draft order didn't change much. Your top 10 in the draft after this weekend: Jacksonville will be picking number 1, then Tennessee, Cleveland, the Giants, the Raiders, the Patriots, the Jets, the Panthers, the Cowboys, and the Saints. That's some talk from the NFL. Mike, also former Pitt standout Kalijah Cansey. He has 5 sacks this season. That is his high in his career in his second year in the NFL. Also, the Pitt Panthers basketball team, they debut at 25 overall in the coaches poll. Derpy, Pitt's coming to Ohio State to play your Buckeyes Friday at 2:30. And Mike, also the Penguins, they acquire Philip Tomasino from the Nashville Predators via trade. The Pens will be back on ice tomorrow hosting the Vancouver Canucks at 7:30.
Former first-round pick who had some success, kind of fell off. It's not a bad trade. It's like, what, a 2027 pick for a guy who showed flashes of potential. I'll take that over some journeyman any day of the week. See what you can get out of the kid.
All right, so we'll take a look-see. The Penguins got to do something, man. They're falling fast. A lot of talk about Mike Sullivan's coaching job being on the line. Maybe it just might be time for that to happen. Mike, take me back and highlight some good messages along the way, man, because we did get a bunch today. It was hard to keep up. Tell me something that you found. Show me something good.
I got. Let's see. George Pickens was in the stands like the Hanson brothers. I like that. And then Mark Malone continuing to not. Jerry Porter Jr. was in the stands George Pickens was in the stands like a Hanson brother. Anyone
he was in the stands? Oh, when he was fighting.
Yeah, he was fighting that guy. And then Mark Malone still continues to not give Mike Tomlin any credit whatsoever.
Okay, that's fair. Listen, we're not fan Nazis. I just
we're
talked
not.
about this.
We're not. Yeah, that makes you a real fan, right?
I'm no. I'm not saying he's not a real fan.
I'm not a Steeler fan.
For one, F you.
And I got to tell you, with a name like Mark Malone, come on, how can you doubt? How can you doubt a fan named Mark Malone?
No, I'm not.
It's like doubting It's like doubting a Lions fan named Barry Sanders. You just do it. Mark Malone, one of my favorite childhood quarterbacks, of course. What else, Mike? What else do you got?
007, if Artie Smith's offense doesn't improve, do you think the fans will start to call for his head like they did Canada? His play calling, some of his decisions are leaving a lot to be desired, and some of the plays he
when it's going to hit, Mike?
Quarter,
it's going to hit in January when we can't perform, we don't score points in the playoffs. That's going to be when we find out if they want his head on a platter.
And then Ninja Joe, I like this one. Lions run up the score like it's a college game. Hope they make the playoffs, but not the Super Bowl. I like it, Ninja Joe. More people on my side about the Lions being a trash team to root for.
All right. But you know what? That's everybody. I was rooting for Buffalo, and then their fans got annoying. Now,
it's like when the fans get annoying.
Them. Right?
It's like when they act like they've been there, done that.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you, Mark. No two ways about it, man.
Yeah.
Guys, we do also. I want to give you the results. The picks are in as of last night. The week 12 had ended in the NFL, gentlemen. We do have a clear-cut winner. It did not come down to the tiebreaker. However, if it would have come down to the tiebreaker, Derpy would have won the tiebreaker this week. However, it wasn't necessary. But winning this week by way of a 9-8 score. 9 correct, 8 incorrect, or 8 correct for the other gentleman. 9-8. Derpy, you win once again. Derpy, take your bow.
I would like to thank the Academy.
All right,
honestly,
Derpy,
I thought I lost.
You to 8-4.
Huh? Like I blame
Did you say you lost?
San Diego's front office.
I thought I lost, honestly.
No, you won. You picked Baltimore, and Mike picked LA.
Yeah,
and that's how that's what it came down to.
Yeah, I like to blame the San Diego's front office for drafting whoever they drafted over Jordan Addison and over Zay Flowers. Like, are you killing me?
No. What's going on, Mike? What's going on with Phil? Phil, you're totally here, brother. I don't know.
No. Like, I didn't read his comment. I didn't see what hit. I must have missed one of his comments, so I threw him up there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's not that I missed you, Phil. It's just I just did not see it in the.
Maybe Brian was here pushing buttons behind the scene or something.
I know, right?
So Derp, you did win. You are now up 8-4. 8 wins to Mike's 4 wins on the season after 12 weeks of picks. Guys, it's Mike. You're not that far out of it. Just four games. But Derpy, we have a bit of a conundrum here. We got to make our picks tomorrow for the weekend. Yes. If you're not able to make it, are you going to be able to make it tomorrow?
Yes.
All right. So make sure you're here tomorrow. We will make sure that we get you in, get your picks, because Thursday, that starts all the action, guys. Thursday, again, 3 games. Friday, the Kansas City and the Raiders game into the weekend. So Derpy will be back tomorrow to make sure we get our picks in for the weekend. But again, Mike takes the L, 8-4 overall on the picks this season. Mike,
so here's what I suggest. Here's what I suggest. I should be able to team up with Mark Malone and Ron Navy. The 3 of us can put our heads together to come up with picks. I think that would be a great triumvirate.
Hey, might be. Something's got to be working.
So I need something. I need something. You know. Or me and Field of Steel will figure it out together. Well, I got to reach out. I need help because I after that week,
Mike, you lost to an inanimate object last year. Remember this.
Hey, Derpy lost to my autistic child. Okay,
he did.
That is true. That is true.
He did. That's
my
true.
ego
That's 100%
is big enough for the 3 of us.
What's that?
My ego is big enough for the 3 of us.
You know what I do? I want to say real quick, guys, because it is Thanksgiving week. I want to say a couple things that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for Finch. Finch, you're really working. You're doing a great job. I'm very, very excited about you. I want to say I'm thankful about Derpy. That's my Derpy. But most of all, Mike, I want to say thank you to you. Because this one really affects me. Mike, I want to say thank you because I don't know what you're doing with your lighting, but every day it gets shadows your face a little bit more, and I don't have to look at you. So I'm thankful for that.
And it changes every 7 days. It's the phases of the Mike moon.
You're right.
And he's at first quarter
Well,
view right now.
I donated one of my other key lights to someone who will go nameless, who now has immaculate lighting. So now I'm struggling with my lighting. I'm just going to throw that
was
out.
Okay, 2 days ago. I just don't see. I don't know because like now I can't even
Well,
see the picture behind you.
I'm trying not to. Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to have the what you call it flicker behind me, the neon light. So I have to procure another key light or another soft light.
All right.
I need a light on this side.
Right.
Yeah, that's the side of your face that I'm liking. It's the side that's shaded
And like the
out.
one I have is not the
It
best,
does suck.
so it's like
Mike, do we have a call? Is there somebody on the line?
No. They could
Okay.
not connect. They could once again. Oh, hold on. Maybe they can figure out technology. Do we have Paul Skeen's mustache?
Paul Skeen's mustache. Are you there?
Hello?
Oh
Paul
God.
Skeen's mustache, everybody. Welcome. We haven't talked to
I
you
was
for a
having some
while.
problems. I'm in the Bahamas with Steinbrenner right now, so I'm a little busy, but I'm going to try to take away some time from the babes.
Paul Skeen's mustache. I gotta ask you, Paul Skeens. He made had some big accomplishments this year. He wins Rookie of the Year. He's mentioned for the Cy Young Award, third in voting, also for even in the MVP. I mean, his name was mentioned. How is Paul handling all this success at just the young age of what he is, and how's everything going with Paul now that he's accomplished all these things that we knew that he was going to be doing anyway? How's he handling the success?
Very, very well. TJ Watt has been the most popular athlete in Pittsburgh for the last several years, and Paul Skeens has already taken over that duty.
Paul Skeens' mustache.
Paul Skeens' mustache must be hanging out with one man's opinion.
Well, my question is this also about Paul Skeens' mustache. Are you feeling a little bit jealous? Because I seen the rest of the facial hair on Paul Skeens' face when he was at the game the other night. He had a whole beard, which I didn't know he could grow. His mustache was, you're camouflaged now. Paul Skeens' mustache. Is this upsetting you? And is this going to be something that needs to change moving forward? I like the beard, but of course he's known for his mustache.
Steinbrenner has been taking me and Juan Soto out for the last week or so, whining and dining us. Because he obviously wants Paul and Juan back with the Yankees, and that guy has no facial hair, so I don't mind Paul having a little bit of facial hair outside of the mustache.
Well, then that's my last question, Paul Skeens' mustache, because we don't have much time left. Of course, it's always a potential. I mean, you're a really good player. Sometimes really good players end up going to the Yankees. You know that they don't have facial hair. Are you concerned maybe one day Paul might land a Yankee pinstripe uniform? Because again, I think that would be reason for concern, being Paul Skeens' mustache. I think we might have lost Paul Skeens' mustache.
I think we did. Paul Skeens' mustache is crying, apparently, that he might have to be shaved.
All right, there you go. Paul Skeens' mustache, everybody. We haven't heard from him for a while. It's nice to hear from him. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumbyinjures.com. Head on over there. Please check it out. Appreciate it. We got the merch store, we got the blog, got all the links over there. Especially if you're new here to the 2dumbyinjures, check it out. It's a nice little portal to all of our other stuff. Check it out. Over to you, Derpy.
If you're new to the 2dumbyinjures show, be sure to subscribe below and boom, pound that like button.
Well, I love that, but man, he sounds like he's in the cave that Mike lives in. Derpy does have new audio. We'll be working on that. Mike, I don't know. I feel like you're skimping Phil out here, man.
I missed his comment. I threw it up. I threw this one up here. I'll search back for. I don't mean to screw with Phil.
All right, I know.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Okay. You on top of this?
I got it. I'm back on track. All
right. Mike. All right, guys, it's trivia time, and everybody knows right here on the show we do trivia questions every week, every day about the team who the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing that week, guys. And this week is no different. The Cincinnati Bengals. They will be that will be the trivia question. Mike, Derpy, Finch, Put your thinking caps on, everybody on the board, everybody at home. Here we go. Bengals trivia question of the day. What year did the Bengals start wearing stripes on their helmets? What year did the Bengals start wearing stripes on their helmets? I know one time back in the day, they would just have orange helmets like the Browns, and it said Bengals right here, just like that, Bengals. So, guys, the question of the day is this. What year did the Bengals start wearing stripes on their helmets?
Ooh.
Take a moment to think that over. We're live right here 5 days a week, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day, Monday through Friday, right here on YouTube. Guys are hard at thought. I can see smoke just shooting out of Mike's ears. Somebody said Mike has a full moon head.
Yeah, Steeler Freak said that. That was good. That made me chuckle.
All right, guys. So the question of the day, what year did the Bengals start wearing stripes on their helmet? What year did the Bengals start wearing stripes on their helmet? A couple answers on the board here. We'll take a look and see. Phil got 1981. 007 got the 80s. P. Morton got 1978. Guys, what year did the Bengals start stripes on their helmets? Mike, I'm going to start with you on this one. What year was it that the Bengals start wearing stripes on their helmets? What year did they get their stripes?
1979.
1979. Is this your final answer?
Final answer.
All right. 1979. Brian says Cincinnati as a team.
I have no idea. Like, same here. I'm just throwing out a guess.
Finch, let me go to Derpy first. Derpy, Mike says 1979. On the board, P says 78. 007 says 80. Field of Steel says 1981. The question of the day is this. What year did the Bengals start wearing stripes on their helmets? Derpy, what do you think?
1982.
1982. And is this your final answer?
Yes, sir.
He sounded strangely confident with that. I think I heard typing.
All right, Finch, I'm going to come to you, the sound man, whom I love. Finchy, question of the day is this. What year did the Bengals start wearing stripes on their helmets?
I honestly have no idea. I know in the 70s they didn't have the stripes, so I'm just going to guess my year of birth, which was 1983.
83. Not a bad guess. All right, is that your final answer, Finch?
Yes, it is.
Final answer. We got Finch locked in. Guys, question of the day. What year did the Bengals start wearing stripes on their helmets? Got a lot of different possibilities here. P said 78. 007 said the 80s. Phil said 1981. Phil said 1981. Phil said 1981. I'm just trying to get Phil caught up a little bit here because I feel that you skipped him a little bit, Mike. So.
Oh, my. I missed one comment.
And Phil said 1981. Also, Mike, you said 1979.
Yeah.
Derpy said 1982. And Finch, you said 1983.
That's right.
Guys, the question of the day, what year did the Bengals start wearing stripes on their helmets? The answer is 1981. 1981. But you know what? Everybody was in the ballpark. Nobody was too stupid, you know?
No.
We only had
The smartest one was Mark Malone. He was like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he was smart. He rose above.
And one thing I did catch about Mark as well, he said nobody's mustache looks as good as his. Think what Mark Malone's mustache. Yeah. I mean, come on, that rivals Tom Selleck in the 80s.
Oh, Jesus God. I knew it was going to be played. I knew it was going to be
I'm going to come.
Yes, John, and I love it. I love it. Finch is like an early Christmas gift here to show. No two ways about that. Mark says, let me break out my 81 and 82 Topps football cards. You know what? Again, rivaled only Tom Selleck in the 80s. Mark Malone's mustache was incredible. Epic, to say the least. guys, but that was the answer. 1981 was when the Bengals did earn their stripes. Mike, anything before we start getting ready to wrap it up, man?
Oh yeah, it's a great show, dude. Everyone on the board, great time tonight. I loved it. I keep it coming. It was fun. The back and forth, it makes this so much fun. I appreciate it, and God, I can't wait till Thanksgiving. I'm so hungry. I've been fasting, if you couldn't tell.
Can I say a little something real quick?
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because I remember about 20 years ago when Finch and I, early on when we known each other, Finch needed his wisdom teeth pulled. He's scheduled to get his wisdom teeth pulled. It was a day before Thanksgiving.
Yes, it was.
And man, did we ride you on that for forever? Because who gets their teeth, all their wisdom teeth pulled the day before Thanksgiving? Finch did it, guys.
In my defense, it was because I was really in a lot of pain, and the anesthesiologist could do that day, and they couldn't do it again. Like, they couldn't get him back until after Christmas, and I was like, dude, I cannot go a month and a half without it. And I told the boss, and he was all jacked off. He was kind of a magoo, to say the least, anyway. But yeah, he was upset about it. But I showed up to work Thanksgiving night. I didn't eat any fucking food, and I showed up to work, and I was all swole up like a squirrel. And I did the job, so.
Absolutely. It's hard to believe.
It's because you're a hockey player at heart, man. You're a hockey player at heart.
It's hard to believe it's been over 20 years. It's over 20 years since that happened. Unbelievable to even think, Finch.
That was Thanksgiving 2003. I had that done. 2003.
Yes.
I was 19.
Absolutely. Derby, what do you got, my man?
Do the Pens play tonight? Or do they play tomorrow?
They play tomorrow. Vancouver at home.
Let's go Pens. I got nothing.
All right.
Derpy has a new setup. He sounds more confident, but still has nothing to add. I love it. Baby steps, Derpy. Baby steps.
Wait. I got something.
All right.
Yeah.
I would like to thank the Academy again that I won today. And you're going down again tomorrow, Mike.
All right. There you go. There you go.
Derpy.
Derpy's feeling confident. He's trying to go for his 9th win of the season on pick. We will be doing that tomorrow since we will not be on Thursday for the holiday, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be here Friday. So do join in tomorrow. We got a lot going on. Derpy will be in the house. I know, like I said, we have a bunch of things we got to get into. We got picks before the game start on Thursday. A lot of NFL football starting Thursday all the way through the weekend. I do want to say thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out and checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We certainly wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much for your support. I do want to say thank you to everybody on the board. As always, guys, always keep things interesting. Always. Even you, Phil, when Mike's trying to short stick you here, I do want to say, Phil, we do appreciate you.
The final one on the board.
John, you know what, John? I just feel like I'm catching these late comments. These late comments I'm catching from John. I think Derpy's getting testosterone shots. Mike's Christmas. Yeah, what is going on with you in his Christmas outfit? Like, you're dressing up like Santa this year? Is that what I'm reading?
No.
Yes, you are.
No, if we get enough subscribers, I'll dress up as Mrs. Claus for you.
No, you got to dress up like reindeer poo.
You're going to dress up as who?
Reindeer poo. If we don't get what you want in subscriptions, then you have to dress up as reindeer poo. Fair enough?
No, I'm good.
I'm going to come.
But perfect.
I will wear the Mrs. Claus or the Santa Claus outfit if every 5 seconds that's all you play.
And there you go, guys. Who knows what we're gonna have here next month? It is 1 month from yesterday. I'm sorry, 1 month from yesterday is gonna be Christmas. We're gonna be bringing you a bunch of new stuff coming up over this next month. We've been working on, guys and I, over the time when we're not here. We're constantly shooting each other messages in common rooms, a lot of ideas. There's a lot of things going on here at the show. So do stick with us. Like I said, this month going into Christmas is going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of things planned for you. We have the great addition of Finch. We're loving the things that he does and what he brings to the table. Of course, everybody knows the help we do get from Brian. Derpy, you are the man. Ain't no two ways about that. So, guys, it's going to be really exciting. We can't wait to dig into some new areas on the show. So it's going to be great time, guys. And again, you, everybody that I'm talking to, you make it all happen. Couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you so much. And we look very much forward to doing so. Right now, we look forward to these Cincinnati Bengals, though. We'll be back tomorrow to get ready to wrap up before we go into the weekend. Again, we will be here Friday, but there's a lot of things that do start Thursday as far as the NFL goes. 3 games Thursday, 1 game Friday. So we'll be touching on all that tomorrow. Derpy will be back tomorrow. I'll check with the other guys to see what we have going on. But Mike, Finch, Derpy, anything else? Speak now, forever hold your peace, gentlemen.
Nah, Matt. No. Thank you, everyone, again.
Finch, you got a bald sound effect?
Not yet.
Think about it.
You know what Derpy's working on like 2 minutes from now. I like it. What's that one, Derpy, that you're always saying about Mike with the minions? They're always running around going bald, bald, bald. Is that a thing, or did you make that up? Is that a thing, or did you make that up? You made that up. Okay. All right. It's still good. All right, guys. I think that's it, everybody. Again, thank you so much for coming and hanging out.
Yes.
We love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow, regular time. Join us then. Derpy in the house. No,
there we go.
Look at this. I love it.
Oh, my God.
Finch not only thankful for this, he is also our early Christmas present. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Finch, my friend. Everybody.
Go Steelers!
Fucked up.
Finch, Derpy, Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the 2 Dumb Yinzers. Everybody have a great Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.